if you understand what it is to be a grown-up, emotionally and mentally, and by understand, I mean that you actually choose to use a tone of respect with any person, at the very least, that is a stranger. And as you get closer to your lovely loved ones, that's where you will know what it's like to be a restorative embodied self, an integrated mind, and that means using your left and right mode in a way that is optimal for a human body, the nervous system, and our brain, the way that I get to learn from my lovely trauma experts, somatic experts, sensory motor experts. These are through courses, trauma educational informed courses, some with certificates, some without, but with those hours. And so if you're curious, please reach out for more. But that is for my lovely human elements. Now, when it comes to being a 5D mystic, well, 5D is oneness, consciousness, unconditional love. This word light means something specific. We are all, if we will, a body of light and energy and cells and all that great stuff. 5D, oneness, consciousness. Your head, masculine, body, feminine. When you have a restorative embodied self, your somatic narrative is going to be in a state of it's okay, that feeling that people can equate to grace or moment of satori, and that is the safety within the actual physiology of you. So there's a way that you would know how to feel if you're a person who consistently does mindfulness, or if you do meditation, or if you do yoga. And what I mean is when you're in the state of flow. Now, imagine that being a constant for you. So I can personally attest to having a consistent state of flow within my own body because of wanting to hug all the people in the world and help to make all of their hearts feel better. Like in my heart of hearts, all of the 8 billion people, if I could hug the entire planet with all these people and give them love and make that they feel better and all that squishy, dovey love, like when you're a kid, like that. Okay. That's where, if this is something like, ew, okay, the ew is a potentially, more likely than not, dysregulated or modulated embodied person, a not secure attachment, a not integrated mind, and so left, right, they're not communicating effectively. The corpus callosum might be compromised, the prefrontal cortex compromised, the hippocampus compromised, the amygdala compromised. Compromised how? The first year of life, your right brain is what is developing. If you have not been able to be met with contingent communication as an infant, your nervous system, your body will have to learn how to ensure your consistent survival. But really what I should spell out is your body's empathy seed or something like that is shut down, is the way they explain it. But really what I'm going to say again is your corpus callosum, it's compromised. Your right brain mode does not get the ability to consistently do things in a way that could allow it to develop. And I'm not a neuroscience major, so again, I'd actually have to go and keep on doing more of the neuroscience, but I have a breakdown of how the mind works thanks to my inner neuropersonal biology with Daniel Siegel, the Mind Sight Institute. You can all go check it out. He has plenty of courses, and the I forget the title right now, but INPB, something like that, is the acronym that we use because it's very long, and he brings together multiple disciplines. So he shares, it's multi-disciplinary. It's not a field of its own, and you learn how the mind works. So that's one aspect over there. But back to our 5D mystics, what I'm trying to get at is a person who's 5D is able to be in a integrated mind. So we do not have a way of wanting to hug trees or go back to the stars. We actually are people who want to hug people and help to support people. The Christ consciousness, the reason that word is used is because of the representation of unconditional love from a person who in fact spoke of walking with the people, all the people of all walks of life, turning the other cheek, forgiving for they do not know. Somewhere this got lost in translation big time, but did it because I'm a political science major. I remember studying the past and knowing what the institutions of the past represented. The fact that they're no longer anything political is normal. We have moved into what is called advancement of society. So they were structures that in the medieval times existed and had a space. Because first of all, prior to that, we were what? With, again, another state of civilization. Apparently that got lost in translation. And when people are talking about the things that they see being changed in our societal culture, there's an idea that we are going to hell or that things are going downhill versus no, that's a part of our species history and only in a part of the world, might I add, right? So there's always a way to bring objectiveness. If you disengage from your stuff, your human stuff, mystic or not, the mystics, the 4D ones who think they're anointed, the people who made the whole twin flame thing, this trending topic, pretty much I know why. In fact, we have a couple episodes coming up about that one, but it's all something for mystics alone because they live these experiences. And 5D mystics, again, not the 4D, because the 4D will not agree since they're battling dark and light and all that stuff. The 5D mystic knows there's no battle going on. What it's called is human evolution. We expand our consciousness. We move into the Enlightenment Soul Age group if we want. If you don't want to, you don't have to. In fact, there's plenty of other soul age groups that people continue to expand their consciousness in. And that's where those twin flame people are with the coaches and whatnot who keep talking about runner chaser. You might as well go to a very good somatic sensory motor therapist, a couple therapists might I add, and find out that there's an avoidant anxious dynamic that they talk about, a whole buttload. And there's this energy of, them mirroring the opposite of what the other doesn't have. So the attachment category and style researchers, they have a buttload of information for the whole, runner chaser thing. Now, of course, again, the people who are the 4D mystics, they're treating it like something different because of the stories, but also because of the fabric that we are aware of. So we do have a relationship with that ethereal plane, this consciousness plane. As a Reiki practitioner, so an energy therapist, an energy worker, I definitely know how that feels. And as somebody who channels guidance and all those clairs, a very amazing experience. So I get it. And I'm happy to see Patrick McNamara. I need to read his book and do that to figure how to support the community in understanding again and again, work with your nervous system and your mind. You work with the emotions that arise from your dream state. You work with yourself. You're not here to tell another human being what to do with their life just because you have dreams. Now that you can share, we've all shared. I share with my loved ones my future. I've in fact told plenty of my friends and loved ones of the future. I know who will be in my future. So here's that. Again, back to our lovely 5DC and a little bit on what I'm trying to get to today with relationships and secure attachment. And when we're not securely attached in our own body, this equates all that we see, not only within loved ones and their household and the surroundings, but also in society as a whole. And the rigid thinkers are not doing anyone any favors. Luckily, we have the expanded 5D educators, and I'm very happy to see those ones. So for us, the ones in the middle, because we embrace the human elements, the spiritual elements, and the spirituality, what we get to do is discuss all of it as food for thought, but with a basic foundation that 5D is unconditional love, because you have flaws, I have flaws, you have imperfections, I have imperfections. And if I use my tone in an effective way and I maintain a temperature and I pay attention and I try, or even if I don't, but we unconditionally love each other and we love getting passionate, right? There's ways that we teach and understand how to attune, because we care enough about each other. And really what it is we enjoy each other's company and we enjoy each other's chit chat and stuff like that. So relationships are easy. They're only hard for the people who want to hug trees. And those are all the people who have a shame cycle or blame cycle or a fault cycle or a revenge cycle or a broken cycle or a someone else's broken cycle. All of these are not secure, attached people in their bodies and in their minds. It's called not worthiness stuff. Some people, 5D, especially the ones from the love cycle, but 5D in general, once you get here, there's not, I'm unworthy, you're unworthy. There's, what is this word again? I would say that we don't need the word in any way, shape, or form, because if I'm talking and you're talking, I'm a self, you're a self. You have opinions, I have opinions. You have feelings, I have feelings. I think as long as we're not physically threatening each other, we can talk. Now, if you want to get into politics, depends. Are you an adult? Can you talk about different opinions easily? Or are you going to start insulting and yelling or what's the deal? Very straightforward. All the people yelling, none of them are adults. They think they are standing up. That's what they got in the examples of the rigid leaders that are yelling alongside with them. Some of us aren't yelling. We will use our tone, like my lovely mother. She still gets a tone, but that's where my 2-year-old was an actual 2-year-old with her. I always tell her, I'm trying, I'm getting better, 43, still got some more way to go. And my twin. Those are the two people that get my tone. Again, I was 0 years old with them. It makes kind of sense with how implicit memory works. It's not something that actually is here it's a emotion that takes over. But I am learning since I was like 16. I started learning. Am I stopping? No. Why? Why am I not stopping? Let me think. Was this very hard? Now, some people will go and talk about how horrible family, yada, yada, yada. Okay, you just made what is, to me, casting of a stone. Great, you got your conditions. Not 5D. Not integrated, by the way, not functional adult, not forgiving, not nuanced. Apparently, you just moved into rigidity, cognitive dissonance, confirmation bias. You just made a judgment call. Your life, not mine. Your body, not mine. Fair and square. And you gave me your opinion of, you think, well, you must not have had a toxic parent. That's something up for debate if you want, but no, I had a parent. I had a human being who's a parent and or parents, and I'm okay with whatever it is because I'm an adult. Adults know how to be forgiving, nuanced, and have conversations. Why? Because our emotions don't rule us. Why? Because we don't get, and that's because we don't have any shame. This social emotion doesn't have anything and at all, not even a little bit. What it has is this. I can begin to feel pressure so that I may perform in effectiveness when I'm doing a job. Why? Because I think it's fair if someone pays me that I do a good job at what I do. As for socially speaking, that's quite interesting if you're a 5D person who's secure. When people insult you, you're not going to be like, oh my God, I just got insulted. Now my world is crushed. It's going to be like, I love knowing of that perspective. It's very fascinating. Which timeline are you from? Oh, I'm from a different timeline. Well, isn't that wonderful? Even more differences. Let's exchange ideas, shall we? Shall we take notes? And the beauty is that we actually are so curious. I know some people that when I do this kind of stuff, they are all over it because they don't like people. I like people, and so I'm like, I'm so sorry. I have fun with people. They're beautiful. They're like a rainbow of colors. They're all so interesting. Obviously, I don't do the people who get into modulated because they're not going to be fun. I'm not going to be having them be intrigued. So they're going to be like, oh my gosh, this is so fake. It's toxic positivity all over the place. She must be wacko or something like that. So that's, or the better one is this one. You have an easy life. I'll never forget with my panic attacks. Someone is like, but she has everything. How does she have panic attacks? I was like, wow, that's a cute one. I love how that comes out of the mouths of people. And the reality is, I get it. If you don't experience, it's like with being a mystic. If you don't experience it, it's only natural for someone to think, you must be making stuff up. Then watch them come to you. This is the other part once they start experiencing stuff. So in all of these areas, the adults kind of knows, okay, why aren't you remembering these moments in time? Thank you, somatic experts, sensory motor therapists, Daniel Siegel, and all the attachment, category, and style people for letting us, the ones who do care, in on what those who do not have an awareness of their body and their implicit memory and their charge state stuff. And so there's a disconnect from within. And that's where that's accurate. Year after year after year, I've seen people come to me for similar guidance and not remember what we talked about the year prior, like to a T. Oh, by the way, and with those seasons, because there is a process. When you're a 5D mystic, you will have noticed it if you're paying attention to you and being loving and kind to others and wanting to hug people, not isolate and be all alone with your group or somewhere again in the middle of nowhere. Those individuals will live definitely great lives with their groups, like other groups that we know of, and people love to tease it, and it's always interesting when someone's teasing that group, because I'm like, are you not a group that is talking about being anointed ones and you're special, and I forgot your mission is this, and you're the power couple over there who's doing all... Do you know enmeshment by any chance? Do you know what codependency means? Do you actually have any idea how you're going to behave if you were all alone with people? Would you feel secure in your body? Would you feel loving? Would you be curious? The most amazing part of being 5D is you wake up every day knowing you have 24 hours and you get to love that day and you get to be with people and you get to try and have people smile. You know, some people, they actually aren't smiling because of serious stuff that's happening. Those people, they need a smile. The ones who go to the Dalai Lama and actually have the audacity to tell him, why are you smiling? Don't you see the suffering? I've heard that story. I forget who it was that shared it. I'm thinking, did that person not go to school? Maybe they don't know. I have a horrible memory, but I know the Dalai Lama, who it is, and I'm thinking, what the hell? What? How does that even happen? Like, you have to be an ignorant soul, human being, for you to go up to the Dalai Lama and actually challenge them on the fact that they're smiling. You really have no awareness of your inner world at all. When I have cramps or stomach ache, I can tell. I'm like, oh, I better be not around people, because if I'm around people, I'm going to be grumpy. Now, that person was very grumpy, but to speak words like that, now that's not a person who's in fact in the clarity of their mind in any way, shape, or form. Their emotions are ruling the show. They just don't realize it, because the rigid people make it look like being in these states and actually having conversations with individuals by insulting them, or, you know, again, there are modalities of actually being able to say we agree to disagree. The part that happens is that we're interested in each other's opinions. The part that doesn't happen is when somebody says, I'm in this group, you're in that group, I hate life, you're smiling, let me come and attack you because I want to prove that I'm right. Something like that, which is all adoptive children. The people who don't know how to smile at life, it's because they do stick to their human suffering, their shame cycles, their blame, fault, revenge. This is where they are not moving into their inner well-being. They're not even moving close to being an adult who can tend to their emotions and enrich themselves as well as that of all around them. Consistency are actions that you take that can be matched with feelings. But if there's not a match and you're ignoring one or the other, you're choosing to ignore. Now, that you may not have experiences that have led you to be able to be aware, but I see all of these people say how much they are intelligent and that they know the truth and that they're spot on. So if you know everything, then hey, I mean, who am I to say, don't really look like you know everything, because your emotions, they really seem to be completely out of not your awareness, because I can see it all over your face. And you know, I get rigid too, because there are times where I'll be, you know, defending myself or protecting, you know, in a certain way, but it's not because I want to move away. I just get that way sometimes. In fact, here's where we love people so much that even if we have panic attacks, we will look to try as soon as possible to get it fixed, if you will, to get it to move into an area where we can move, going out and doing things. So the 5D mystic isn't going to be like, oh, I'm an empath, I can't go in places where there's... No, we're going to be like, okay, Let me figure out a sweet spot, that I can risk it and try to expand my window of welcome, because I really have a window that I want to grow more and more and more, being able to be around all of these lovely activities. Because how are we going to help people to get into safe harbors and great launching pads if they're only surrounded by the same people who don't have the ability to share unconditional love with them? How are we going to help our communities if they don't have people that actually don't cast stones at them the minute they see that they have a little bit of some, biological rudeness going on because they do have a dysregulated or modulated body? How are people going to be exposed to kindness and compassion if the people who so much want to voice that they're all in favor of it judge narcissists, sociopaths, psychopaths? Why are we still judging these people? The ones who learn the somatic sensory motor trauma, not the ones who want to stay within other realms of educational stuff. That they're not looking at people. I'm looking at people. Inspiring human potential. No person is born evil. They're born with an attachment system that looks to meet contingent communication. The minute it's not met, things start taking place. Underdeveloped right brain hemisphere, non-secure attachment, disorganized attachment. The lovely science community that are way better at explaining all of this than I am, they can tell people why no one's an energy vampire, no one's a demon, and what has taken place in their physical brain. They can also let them in on a journey that will lead them out of that mental prison. It's a horrible mental prison, a shame cycle. So no shaming, only loving, and then let's support with education, not of rigid people who are shaming, no, of the ones who are empowering with love and kindness and compassion. The emotion of the adult is forgiveness for a reason. We know and understand what it's like to be a person. We'll tend to you and tell you how it is, but we will use manners because that's what grown-ups do. We'll respect each other, eye to eye, share love, and have a wonderful day.